Exercise is not necessary to lose weight. It's the mental benefits that you get from being just a little slimmer. Mental health benefits mental health is as important as physical health. So I've got another trick, which is in the book, which you can follow, and that's called self-talk. They must be said out loud to work, even though you can record them and listen to them, which I do also. For example, and you write 10 of these down, and you repeat them twice a day. Use as loud a voice as you can, the louder your voice. So you'd write like, I'm happy with who I am. I'm going to watch the portions what I eat. I'm going to exercise daily. I enjoy exercising. I enjoy being healthy. And after a while, your conscious mind will be taken over by your subconscious mind, and those will become new habits. They'll become the new you. I'm honored to be here. I appreciate K-Talks inviting me. I believe in a strategy called KTS, keep things simple. Look to the future, glance to the future, but be in the present if you want to be successful. And so my name is John Probant. I have a lot of experience in investing. I've invested in lots of spaces, but the spaces I've enjoyed investing the most in have been culture, entertainment, education, exercise, health, and diet, technology. Now, I've not always been a successful investor. In fact, I have a metric that I've looked at. Look to the future, be in the present. When I was younger, I went to the doctor. The doctor was a good friend of mine. His name was Dr. Harry Cohen. Harry was a really great guy. He studied everything about you. Most importantly, he taught me how important heredity was. So he asked me all kinds of questions about my family history. I'm pretty lucky because everybody in my family lives to over 100 years old. Very few have not lived to at least 100, and I think the oldest lived to 112 or something like that. So I've got very good heredity. Harry said, John, you're so lucky because you've got good heredity. If you've got good heredity, you can practically do anything you want and you're going to live to a ripe old age. The problem is living to an old age, if you're not healthy and can do vigorous things as you're older and still act like a young man's maybe not that great. So you should also take care of yourself. Preventative health care, which is going to be a lot of what I talk about the rest of the speech. So preventative health care. Harry said, John, do you take vitamins? I said, no, I eat right. I exercise daily. He says, that's not enough, John. He says, you need to take supplements. You need to take vitamins because you have this little thing called stress. You're a hard driver. You don't sleep much. You work hard. You think all the time, and you need to take vitamins. Well, guess what? I was a young guy. I didn't listen to him. Within 1 year, I developed something called mono. It's not a serious disease. It's because I wasn't taking the vitamins. And I was in bed for an entire month while I learned my lesson. And I learned a lot about how important preventative health care is. And since then, I've always taken vitamins. And I've been very healthy. And hopefully, I'll be like the rest of my family and live to a very old age. I'm going to tell you a story right now, and I'll tie it into something later, but the story's pretty good. When I was a young boy, about 21, 22 years old, I was lucky enough to get to go to Europe. And I took an airplane to Europe, and as I got on the plane, this beautiful flight attendant came up to me, and she says, would you like a newspaper? I said, sure. And she goes, which one would you like? I said, I'd like this newspaper. She goes, well, sir, we don't have that one, but I can give you this one. I said, it's okay, don't worry about it. I've got a book to read. So all of a sudden, when the plane's about ready to leave, she comes up to me and hands me a newspaper, the newspaper I wanted. I go, how did you get that? Again, past times, they wouldn't even let her off the plane. She had gone off the plane and bought me a newspaper. That wouldn't happen today. And so this was a strange flight. There were almost more flight attendants on the plane, flight hostesses on the plane than there were passengers. So she spent a lot of time talking to me. Now, no guy at 21 years old is going to mind a beautiful girl talking to him. So I was enjoying the flight. And then she did something even more unique. She says, would you like to have dinner with me? And I said, sure. When we get to Zurich, let's have dinner. She goes, no, I mean now. She goes, I talked to the other flight attendants, and since there's hardly any customers on the plane, you can come in the back of the plane behind the curtain, and I'm going to give you a really good dinner. I go, wow, how lucky am I, right? So I sat there, and she brought champagne, and it was a spectacular dinner. But she's just sitting there not eating anything. I said, aren't you going to eat? Are you not going to eat? She goes, of course I'm going to eat. Then she reaches in her bag, and she pulls out 2 jars of baby food. 2 jars of baby food. She starts eating the baby food. I go, baby food? What are you doing? She goes, she stood up. She turned around like this. She says, do you like my figure? I go, I do. She goes, I used to be fat. She goes, I eat baby food twice a day. And then I eat 1 regular meal a day, and look at me, I'm fantastic. Now I'm going to tie this story into something. During the years, I got so busy, I would sometimes miss my exercise. I would miss this, I'd miss that. Even though I owned health clubs and gyms, I had started supplement companies myself, I wasn't doing some things I should do. So I would get on these restrictive diets. There'd be short-term results. I'd lose a bunch of weight. Then I'd get really fat again. And it was like ridiculous. And one day I'm kind of frustrated. It's like 15, 20 years later, and I start thinking about that beautiful girl and her baby food. I'm thinking, wow, maybe I should try that. So I went to the store, and I bought some baby food. I bought like a week or 2 supply of baby food, but then it took me 3 weeks or 2 weeks before I even started eating that baby food because it just sounded like it would taste terrible, right? It's just pureed vegetables and things like that. So eventually, I started experimenting around with what she had told me, eating 2 baby foods a day and then eating a regular meal. Well, this is portion control at its best because people talk about calories and things like that. Really, all it is just have the right portions, and you'll keep your weight, and you'll lose your weight, and you can make it last forever. I've been fortunate enough and lucky enough to live in China for an extended period of time. I love China, and I love the rich culture of China. One of the rich cultures of China is you really don't make a business deal in the boardroom. You make a business deal over meals. You have your final deal. You might sign something in the boardroom, but till you have a meal and really get to know the people, it's probably not going to happen. So while people are getting overweight in China, a regular diet just won't work because they have to have the meals. All of a sudden I go, my baby food diet works for China because with my baby food diet, you're having 1 normal meal a day. Our diet is the permanent solution to losing weight. It's a permanent solution to keeping weight off. So we have a little trick. Once you get to your right weight, you only weigh once a month. The diet is broken into 3 different things, and it's called the baby food diet. First phase is baby food fast. You don't have to do that. But sometimes immediate gratification is a good thing. For the baby food fast, you shouldn't be on it for more than 1 to 21 days. And what you do is you're simply only eating baby food and liquid protein for the first few days. That's all you're doing. Phase 2, and you can forget phase 1 if you want, and there are things called the baby food diet on the internet. All they are is phase 1 of my diet, which is a fast. Phase 2, you're eating 1 regular meal a day. Try to get a little portion control if you can. But if you don't have portion control, you will still lose weight if you do the rest of it. 1 protein a day, 1 baby food a day. You will lose weight. You can just buy these off the shelf, right? So it totally works. Phase 3, you reach your target weight, you're having 2 regular meals a day. What about vacations? Just stay off the diet for 2 weeks. Don't eat baby food, don't eat protein. That's how flexible this diet is. That's why it works, because it's a diet for humans. It totally works. So the next phase we're going to do with this diet, next phase, is we're starting our own brand. We're developing foods, and scientists I've been talking to, babies can only absorb pureed food, but with the baby food we'll put out with our own brand later, it'll have all kinds of probiotics, it'll have all kinds of vitamins in it and things like that, and the protein will have things like that also. So not only will it taste good, it'll be rich for your body. That's under the brand BFD. By the way, BFD, baby food diet, but it's also more important name for the baby food diet. BFD stands for best forever diet, because forever you'll be thin. Forever you'll have weight management control. Forever you'll be happy. Exercise is not necessary to lose weight. Is the mental benefits that you get from being just a little slimmer. The mental benefits are incredible. Mental health benefits are mental health is as important as physical health. So I've got another trick which is in the book which you can follow, and that's called self-talk. They must be said out loud to work, even though you can record them and listen to them, which I do also. For example, and you write 10 of these down, and you repeat them twice a day. Use as loud a voice as you can. The louder your voice, the better they work. There's one person in this audience that I gave this trick to before, and I know it worked for her. So you'd write like, I'm happy with who I am. I'm going to watch the portions, what I eat. I'm going to exercise daily. I enjoy exercising. I enjoy being healthy. And you repeat those things, whatever they happen to be, and you change them up every 6 weeks. You can keep some the same, but move them in and out. And after a while, your conscious mind will be taken over by your subconscious mind, and those will become new habits. They'll become the new you. Today, in the present, you start saying them. And then when you get to the future, they're going to happen. And that's totally what I mean by look to the future, glance to the future, be in the present. Thank you very much.